I feel immensely delighted in welcoming you all on this motivational speech on fraternal solidarity towards better future, organized by the Catechism and Moral Instruction Committee by the Inequalities Government, Coimbatore. To begin this day divinely, let us first invoke the presence of Almighty with whose guidance everything results in success. And now I call upon Mati Joshna, third BA English Literature Angel, to express our sincere devotion to their song. The Lord's my shepherd, I not want. He makes me down to lie. In pastures green, He leadeth me, the quiet waters by. My soul He doth restore again, and me to walk doth make. Within the paths of righteousness, in for His own name's sake. My table door has furnished in presence of my foes. My head odors with oil and wine, and my cup overflows. Goodness and mercy all my life shall surely follow me, and in God's house forevermore my dwelling place shall be. Thank you, Joshna. Hospitality is unarguably one of the defining qualities of our Nirmala College. Our measurable hearts do become immeasurable when our guests are around us. In this day, our hearts are inspired with joy and your readiness to be with us. Now, I request Prithvirusha Shubhaharini of 3rd BA English Major to formally welcome the gathering.
I wish everyone present here an exuberant morning. Wisdom is the gift of God. With these lines, I first of all bow down to thank God Almighty for presenting us this wonderful day. The day that the Lord has created is always beautiful. In this beautiful day, I, with great ecstasy, would like to welcome our Secretary, Reverend Sister Dr. Ruby Alankara Mary, who is leading person with a spark of joy everywhere she is present. I would like to welcome our principal, Reverend Sister Dr. M. Helen, who encourages and supports to implement our thoughts. I would also like to welcome our strong support and guide, our Vice Principal, Reverend Sister Dr. Mary Fabiola. Welcome, dear sisters. Next, I would like to welcome the Head of Catechism and Moral Instruction Club, Reverend Sister Dr. M. Arul Shibarani, Assistant Professor of Botany and organizers of this program. Welcome, dear teachers and sisters. Next, I would like to welcome the exuberant, God-fearing, and eminent person. Our guest speaker of this day, Rev.Fr.Dr. Emmanuel, Professor of Theology in Good Shepherd Seminary with 20 years of teaching experience. He was ordained as priest in Salem and has done his master's degree in liturgy, Rome, and PhD in theology in Coimbatore. He is devoted, spiritually connected to the Lord, and is a motivational personality. He has given many speeches motivating the youngsters and is always for them. We welcome you, Father. I would also like to welcome the chosen people of wisdom, the faculty members, HODs, assistant professors of various departments. Welcome, dear teachers. Last but not the least, I would like to welcome the little and blooming buds of NIRMALA. You are the one who makes this place a garden, the Garden of Eden. Welcome, dear students. Once again, I welcome you all to this motivational program on this auspicious day. Thank you.
Thank you, Nisha, for your warm and kind words. If action inspires others to dream, learn more, and become more, you are a leader, says John Quincy Adams. At this juncture, I would like to attribute the saying to our dear father, because his valuable past makes him important today and it will make an impact on the future generation. I feel great honor and an enormous pleasure in welcoming our chief guest, thus to ignite our soul and thoughts. I now request our Reverend Father Dr. Emmanuel to take over the session.
Good morning, dear sisters, teachers, and my dear students. So, it is a nice occasion to meet you all through this media. And on this day, we'll be sharing few essential ideas, very specially as a motivation talk connected to a bright future. All of us, we are very much worried and we are thinking about what is going to happen. At this moment, we need to reflect fraternal solidarity for a better future. This is the wonderful topic what I feel during this moment of this pandemic. Why? Because we need to understand the other person as my brother, my sister, and we need to show our solidarity with one another. Of course, in several ways, you as students and the teachers and so many other personals would be involving or might have involved in so many other ways to manifest our solidarity. Maybe the people, those who are closer to us, or within the same family, or within the same locality, or within the same area. Still, we need to also motivate ourselves in the context of the fraternal solidarity. When we begin to understand the meaning, the significance of this particular terminology, all of you may be well aware and very familiar with this particular terminology, fraternal solidarity. This is nothing but community of feelings. I belong to a particular family or I belong to a particular locality. We need to have a common feeling for one another. And it is in this way, you and I, we take up the responsibility of this present day society, and thus we create a bright future. So naturally, when we begin to understand fraternal solidarity, as all of you may be well aware, it is a fellowship arising from common responsibilities and interests. It is a fellowship for a common responsibility and interest between people. Why we need to have a common responsibility? As students of this particular college, all of you may be knowing or all of you may be understanding your own responsibility as students, studying, making the projects, working, or things like that. We need to also think of the society in which we are living. Why we need to take care or why we need to have a fellowship with one another? Because all of us are created in the image and likeness of God. So therefore, before God, we all as human beings, though male and female, God has created, all are equal before God. In the family of God, all of us, we need to take up the common responsibility. This will come only by way of showing our own interest for one another. Every year, all of us, we are well aware, no? In the during the month of December 20th, this International Day of Human Solidarity is celebrated? Why this particular day? Is it sufficient enough to celebrate, to have a celebration just for a single day or one day? This is to revitalize the energy, the human resources that we are as human being. We need not only for the celebration as such, rather we need to also strengthen one another. This is the richness what every human individual is having. It is a new opportunity to promote awareness among the people. Solidarity is the most important human value. It is through this important human value, which is called solidarity, you and I, we have an opportunity to promote love for one another, care for one another, concern for the other person. When we begin to again insist or to emphasize the need for solidarity or the necessity for solidarity, it is the intrinsic social nature of the human person. Before God, we have understood God has created all of us in His own image and likeness. Then, as we live in this human community, human society, as human person, we need to also have that social relationship. That is the social nature of every human person. Of course, as young students or college students, you may be understanding what is your richness as human person. Before God, we understand God has created all of us in His own image and likeness. What does it mean? You and I, we need to relate. You and I, we need to exercise that grace of God in our own relationship, dealing, respecting, showing the dignity for every individual. As human persons, we are invited to manifest, to exercise equality in the society, human dignity for one another, which is the common path for every individual, for which you and I, we are all committed to create certain unity, or this unity which is called solidarity in the modern language. So therefore, whenever we speak of solidarity, which removes all sorts of prejudices, such as it may be race, color, language, sex, origin, age, nationality, religion. We are purely motivated on the basis of humanitarian basis. You and I, as human persons, whenever we speak of solidarity, as human individuals, we are invited to enter into any relationship. So God has created as human beings for what? Not to have divisions among us, rather to have the common goal as human beings or human individual. Of course, in so many levels, whenever we begin to see or whenever we begin to reflect, there are also inequalities existing. There are also discriminations that are existing. What is the purpose of having this motivational talk for you and me? Why we need to reflect on this topic, fraternal solidarity for a bright, better future? It is through this, you and I, we are given a kind of awareness. Amidst all sorts of this awareness, we need to also remove the negative influences that are destroying the human family, destroying the human society, at large, the whole humanity, the whole world. Inequalities are existing among countries, among states, among families, among societies. There are also so many different levels or so many different forms of inequalities that are also existing. Maybe in forms of, or in terms of exploitation, or in terms of oppression, or in terms of discrimination. You and I, we become aware of all sorts of inequalities, but we need to rule away, or we need to get rid of all these types of discrimination, whether it may be the discrimination based on language, based on caste, or based on religion. It does not mean that we should not profess a particular faith, or you and I, we should not exercise a particular religion. Not that way. Rather, religion, faith, or a particular culture or a particular language is very, very important for me as an individual person. Whenever we speak of the collective, the common good of the whole community, common good of the whole society, we need to have this type of awareness. Yes, I will not be discriminating any individual based on language, region, race, religion, culture, or the structure, physical structure, fat, lean, or tall, short, like that. The principle of solidarity requires that all men and women, we need to cultivate a greater awareness in the humanity, in the human society. Why we need to cultivate this awareness? The modern world, the modern time requires this particular culture of solidarity. Why? Sometimes people within the same family, or within the same area, within the same locality, or within the same college as you are studying, there may be also several discriminations that may be possible. If you and I grow with the same discriminative values, we may not be able to propagate the culture of solidarity. Rather, we need to imbibe within ourselves the value of solidarity, the principles of solidarity, which is nothing but respecting the individual as he is or as she is. The culture of solidarity demands a kind of awareness. We need to create, or we need to have that awareness within ourselves in order to avoid all sorts of discrimination that are existing in the society. Very especially in this context, whenever we look into the message of the church is always favoring the solidarity. In the social doctrine regarding solidarity, the church also has clearly manifested in terms of a relationship or a bond between solidarity and the common good. Of course, you and I would be expecting something good must be done to me. Something valuable should be done to me. I should receive something good. No one would be wishing, yes, I should receive something bad. No. Neither will not be wishing for the other person something bad should happen. Rather, we would be working on for the common good in the society, the social level, which is the greatest emphasis. What do we find? Solidarity, which has an intimate bond in terms of common good, working for the good of every individual. That is called solidarity. You and I, we need to have that broader mind, broader vision than just for my own well-being, or just for only for the well-being of my family. Rather, the whole creation must be taken into consideration. The whole humanity, the whole human world should be taken into consideration in terms of this bond which will be exercised in terms of solidarity for the good of the whole humanity. Solidarity and equality among every individual. Very especially whenever we look into the Bible, the greatest example and the greatest connection what Jesus makes is that solidarity in terms of charity. Of course, all of you may be well aware, might have heard about Mother Teresa. Earlier, she was working as a religious sister in one of the important cities of India, Calcutta. What she was doing, she was manifesting the love of God, what she had experienced within herself, and she wanted to show, she wanted to manifest that solidarity and charity to the poorest of the poor. If you are not just before your college, if you walk some 100 meters or 200 meters, you may be also finding a small institution, missionaries of charity. There you will be finding how this solidarity and charity is manifested, shown, exercised to the poorest of the poor, the people, those who lack or those who do not have any love, any care, any affection in concrete terms by the sisters of Mother Teresa. Of course, I don't say other sisters, they don't do it. The sisters, teachers, and all of us, we are invited to manifest, invited to take part in the mission of Jesus, showing solidarity in terms of charity for one another. Every neighbor, whenever we do know any type of charity, the other person is my neighbor. Here I am reminded of a philosophical idea, philosophical thought. A great philosopher, I forgot the name of the philosopher, but the idea I get here, the other person is a help for me. The other person who is sitting closer to me, to my left side, to my right side, is a help for me. If we go with that idea of that great philosopher, we may not be able to promote, we may not be able to venture into the culture of solidarity. Rather, we need to move with the mind of Jesus, who has manifested, who has explained, or who has connected the term of solidarity or the mind of solidarity, fraternal solidarity, in terms of charity. Charity is nothing but love for one another. Why I have to love, why I have to show my love for the other person is nothing but he or she who is sitting or who is talking, who is relating, or who is my neighbor is created in the living image of God. That is the greatest richness that all of us we get. Instead of treating the other person as my enemy, as devil or as evil, you and I, we need to have, if you are propagating, if you are promoting the culture of solidarity, naturally, we should have the mind of Jesus, that you and I, we are created in the image and likeness of God. So, only in this way, analyzing this particular context, you and I may manifest the love for the one another, the same love what Christ has shown, what Jesus has manifested will be transmitted on the other person by my gesture of charity. Any need not be in terms of money. Often we may be misunderstanding charity only in terms of money or distribution of certain things, dress material or food material. Those things are also needed. More than that, any amount of charity, the availability of myself for the other person, because the way that I begin to talk, the way that I spend, or the time that I spend with the other person, all these would be also manifesting, or all these also would be expressing from my gesture the love for the other person, which is to be understood as charity. So therefore, whenever, dear friends, whenever we begin to look into the fraternal solidarity for the bright future, we need to also understand this Christian connotation, what Christ himself has manifested, has shown in terms of charity, love for the other person. Why you and I, we need to love the other person? Because he or she who is living, or he or she who is relating, or he or she who is in this particular ambience or in this particular setup is also created in the image of God. He or she is also son of God. In this special context, all of you may be well aware what the present Pope Francis, in one of his documents, which is called Fratelli Tutti, social solidarity is highlighted by the present Pope. That means, if you have an opportunity to enter into this in any website looking for this Fratelli Tutti, you may also receive the rich ideas what Pope Francis is focusing, not based on a particular religion or particular caste or particular country or particular locality. Rather, we as human beings, we need to get along. As human persons or as human individuals, you and I, we need to have that solidarity, a common social friendship. A common social friendship which is insisted, which is emphasized by the present Pope Francis in this particular document, Fratelli Tutti, which is an Italian title. There, the Pope insists and highlights, as human individuals, you and I, we need to work for this fraternal solidarity, fraternal friendship, social friendship. How it would be possible? Only by way of understanding and promoting the dignity of every individual, respect for every individual. Whenever we speak of social friendship or fraternal solidarity, it is nothing but one side, respect for the individual. You and I, we are invited to propagate the dignity of every individual, and thus all of us will be promoting the culture of solidarity. You and I, we need to ensure the dignity of every individual, respect for every individual. He or she may be junior to you, senior to you, maybe your teachers, maybe to your responsible professors, sisters, or elders in the family or in the neighborhood. This promotion of culture of solidarity is a challenge for all of us. challenge for the common good without any distinction. This can be also further reflected solidarity whenever we speak of this solidarity, which can channelize or which can change the whole world, dear friends. It is possible by you and me, you and I. We have this challenge. We need to change the society under this context of fraternal solidarity for a bright future. And thus, the earth, the planet in which you and I will live, we make a better place for every individual. We have an obligation. We have the responsibility, because you and I, we are living on this earth. So therefore, we have this obligation to make the world, make the future a bright future, better future, a better place. Secondly, solidarity, which is a tool for reducing inequality and social justice in the world. My dear friends, it is very easy to talk, whether it is social friendship or fraternal solidarity like that. We need to have a mind of eradicating all the things or reducing all mindset that are contributing or that are helping me to promote inequality. I need to reduce that mind of inequalities. Rather, you and I, we need to propagate the values of equality, as God has created every individual equally. And thus, by reducing that inequality, we will be also promoting justice in the world. Thirdly, solidarity leads to sustainable development. Often we will be reflecting and often we will be thinking about the whole humanity, the whole world, which is marching towards, or there is development in all the areas. Very especially, for example, if we begin to compare some 50 years before, the road facility, not that much what we have right now. The internet facility, what right now? For example, right now I am here in Salem, Erkard, one of the hill station. From Erkard, I am able to communicate to you, the people, those who are there in Coimbatore. Why I am telling, so many levels, there are improvements, there are developments. Similarly, in terms of human relationship, you and I, we need to also contribute the richness of solidarity, and thus you and I may begin to manifest what God wants in and through me. And fourthly, solidarity must be cultivated by education. What is the purpose that you and I we study? What is the purpose that you and I we come for a particular college or for a school? It is nothing but to cultivate the level of solidarity among ourselves, and thus the overall human being of the whole humanity also may be taken into consideration. And fifthly, solidarity which symbolizes the unity within diversity. Of course, all of us, we have differences. What type of differences? Based on the language, based on the culture in which you and I we were brought up, or based on the religion that you and I what we profess. But amidst all sorts of diversity, we need to have a common aim or a common goal, which is to be understood, unity of propagating or promoting the culture of solidarity, which is a greatest requirement for the modern society. And the sixth one is, solidarity will not expire. There is no end for solidarity. Of course, it will be multiplied, or it will be continued, or it will be carried out by every individual, all those who realize. You and I, we may be understanding, okay, only in the recent times we are talking about this solidarity. Rather, in the international level, already this particular concept or this particular idea, solidarity, has been reflected so many levels. Why, for example, some individuals during this pandemic, they were helping, they were supporting, need not be the foreign countries, need not be from foreign countries, our own neighborhood families. If you ask your own sisters, the NIRMALA college sisters, the provincial team, and the other teachers, they have also shared their resources to be shared for the poor. That is to show the human solidarity, fraternal solidarity for every individual, not in terms of money alone, not in terms of the things alone, rather the time that they spend. We are able to think, we are able to at least understand and feel and sympathize the people, those who are really lacking certain resources. And the eighth one, our role. What is our role? Our role is to raise a kind of awareness towards this mind of solidarity, or the culture of solidarity. You and I having certain awareness in terms of the culture of solidarity, naturally we will be eradicating inequality. As students of this particular college, among your classmates, among your friends, or within the same group or the hostel if you are living, you need to have a kind of awareness. Hereafter, I will not be showing any discrimination based on particular language, or based on particular caste, or based on particular religion, or based on the height, the size, like that. You and I, we have the responsibility to create a kind of awareness towards solidarity. And the ninth one, solidarity continues to propose actions related to quality education. Of course, it is nowadays, no, people also may be thinking, maybe reflecting. Any individual can obtain any degree by paying some amount. Sometimes they talk, sometimes they say, which may not able to promote a quality education. If you and I, we receive a quality education, the purpose is to continue to promote that fraternal solidarity. Why you and I, we need to create that fraternal solidarity? The last point, solidarity, which is a key to achieve peace in the world. It is very, very easy to fight with one another. At the same time, to arrive at or to create peace in the human society, or in the world, or in the area, or in the place where you and I will live, very, very difficult thing. Even among the friends, no, among yourself, those who are sitting closer to you, maybe your friends you will be sitting. You will be finding difficult, or you will be understanding your friends. I should not fight with my best friend, close friend. You will be trying to enrich in your friendship, for which you will be foregoing, or you will be renouncing, or you will be reducing all sorts of misunderstanding. At the same time, when we have differences of opinion, or that girl I don't like, or that family I don't like, naturally we will be focusing on indifferences. So therefore, dear friends, as you and I, we are responsible to create a fraternal solidarity for a bright future, for a better future. Why we need to create this solidarity, fraternal solidarity? The main aim to create the fraternal solidarity is to achieve peace in the whole society. So therefore, dear friends, I take this opportunity to thank the sisters, those who are responsible for this particular sharing of this particular talk, as well as all the teachers and my dear students. I take this opportunity to thank to all of you for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Like the rain water, bringing life and prosperity to the land, your word brings enthusiasm, strength, and the feel of fraternity in our hearts. Thank you once again for your exuberant and strengthening message. Your words mean a lot to us, and they carry a lot of wisdom and vision for our future. Gratitude is divine emotion that fills our hearts and warms our soul. We are now at the end of this delicious happening. To give a perfect ending for the evening, I now request Ms. Shivani of 3rd grade English Medium to deliver her words of gratitude.
All the great things are simple and all can be expressed in a single word. Freedom, justice, honor, duty, and hope holds in Churchill. With these words, I would like to record my note of gratitude to the Secretary, Reverend Sister Dr. Ruby Alamara Mary, and the Principal, Reverend Sister Dr. Helen, for being the catalyst that inspired us to do our best and stand as a pillar of power. Secondly, I would like to propose my hearty vote of thanks to our guest speaker, Rev.Fr.Dr.Emmanuel, for gracing today's session with motivating words on fraternal solidarity towards a better future. From your speech, we understood that the principle of solidarity lies in equality of men and women in the world. Yes, the whole creation is taken into consideration of solidarity and charity. Hence, our life is a manifestation of love and hope. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and shown us a new path. Thank you, Father. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record of thanks to the head of Catechism and Moral Instruction, Reverend Mr. Dr. Arun Shivarani, Assistant Professor of Botany, and all the committee members for perfect logistic support and guidance for the enormous cooperation in the organization of the event. And the individual has started living when he opens the door of the home. Ultimately, I thank all my dear friends and faculty members from various departments from college for making this session a fruitful one. Once again, I thank you one and all.
Thank you, Shivani. Once again, my sincere thanks and I'm eternally grateful to everyone who has joined in this happening and my heartfelt gratitude to the organizer without whose effort this happening would not be this much colorful. Thank you all.